Hey everybody, welcome back. We have two new releases from Benchmade Knife Company, and they are unique for Benchmade. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Benchmade Lowden. Now they released both of these, the 491 and the 491GY-01. So we'll get into these, but you can see already, manual open, M390 blade steel from Bowler. I'm excited. So let's see. Let's do the regular 491 first, and then we'll get into the other, the GY-01. So Benchmade box. You gotta love the box. Who doesn't love the nice padded box? Benchmade lifetime warranty. The Life Sharp warranty they have is great. This is a use and care manual as well. And it comes in a nice microfiber bag. I did see a comment recently that somebody said, hey, maybe they could switch over to doing a little microfiber cloth as well. That might be good to polish the blades, but you can also use that microfiber bag to do the same thing. Little axis lock paperwork. Now look at this. You get this unique new flipper blade. I need to know your thoughts. So let's take a look at the flipper, and then we'll get it open. You got a little bit of jimping. Oh, there's no jimping. That's just the grinds. Okay, so a smooth flipper tab right here all around, so very smooth. Maybe a little jimping might be due for that, but we'll see how it works. You got the axis lock, you got a deep pocket carry clip, and you have vertical screws, so we'll talk about that. Okay, let's get it fired open. Okay, kind of a spear point there. Axis lock, a little flipper, the Benchmade Lowden. I'm looking for that thumb stud, muscle memory. So what do you think? You got the Benchmade butterfly logo on this side. On this side, ooh, you got the M390, and this one's a first production. Now you can see already the blue anodized aluminum handles are terrific. You have the access bar and the pocket clip are PVD coated, like a flat dark earth, an FDE color. Kind of makes it pop really nicely with the blue. This is their crater blue anodizing on the aluminum scales and the handles. What do you think? What do you think overall? I did get an opportunity to check some of these out at a Benchmade event and at the factory store. And I gotta say, size-wise, I was hoping for something a little bigger. It's starting to grow on me a little bit, kind of like the, mini bug out, those kind of things were. But overall, I have a few things that I'll leave a little bit later in the video of some of my thoughts about this one. But overall, size-wise, I have a large glove size hand. So I'm getting a little cramped right here, probably 3.5 fingers because of the flipper tab coming down. So I'm not an engineer. I would imagine you could probably make that a little smaller. Let's see when it's closed. You could probably go a little smaller flipper tab, give you a little bit more room. Now, it's kind of a light switch. There's no lock stick or anything with it. Do you have to get used to the muscle memory without using thumb studs, right? All right, so let's take a look at this one. This one's going to be the 491GY-01. And we'll look at this one. This one, the color pops on both of these. I really, really like what they've done overall with their aluminum over the years. The anodizing they use, oof, this one's nice. Now this one, they basically just call red, Phoenix red. My apologies, Phoenix red. But you can kind of see in a different light. You get a little lighter, a little darker. It's got the same PVD coated axis bar and pocket clip, which on this one maybe, and you also have a coated blade on this one. You have a gray Cerakoted blade. So I would think on this one either go all out, so do all matching. So maybe you have a gray Cerakote, maybe do a gray Cerakote pocket clip, or since your hardware is black on this one, maybe go black axis lock, crossbar lock, and the pocket clip. But it kind of, you need something to pop a little bit. So I understand why they would do that. But what do you think of this one? Which one would you go for? Would you go for blue? You know me, I'm a fan of blue. So, but would you go blue or would you go red? That to me is one of the biggest questions. Blue or red? Blue or red? I do like the stonewash finish on the blue. This Cerakoted one, obviously it's not going to reflect as much light as you can see. And this one just has the M390, very subtle, very minimalistic, you know, billboarding or branding. Let's flip this one out. Okay. No lock stick whatsoever, coated blade and coated access bar. I like that. Now let's go over a couple specs. Just a little bit of information on these. Now, we talked about the Bowler M390 spear point blade. Now let's check this one. Overall, what do you think? I kind of like it. Now, the blade length itself, 2.79 inches. So, you know, if you're going to grip up on this one to do a cut, you know, I have a large glove size hand, so about the length of my finger to get out there. There's no jimping at all. You do have the milling, kind of that, you know, the inspiration they noted was based on the symmetry and the circular pommel of traditional daggers. I noted that from their product description on their product page. So that to me is kind of, you know, the basis of it. I really like the pop of the blue, the Creator Blue anodized aluminum with the FDE hardware. Now, would I have liked all of it to be one? Maybe, but I do like just a little bit of pop on this. Now, the cool part is it is reversible. The clip, you can put it over there. You can see it does have a little bit of a milled out area right here that the pocket clip sits in. You do have the screws that sit a little bit proud, but the clip does not. So that's kind of cool that they milled that into the design. I like that. Now, other specs of this one, the thickness on your blade, 0.09 of an inch. So pretty thin blade stock overall. And when it's finally open and deployed, your full length on this one, 6.81 inches. The handle, we talked about it, 6061 T6 anodized aluminum. Thickness is 0.502, so just literally a hair over half an inch. And when it's closed, your handles are 4.05 inches long. The weight on these, 2.99 ounces. They brought it just under 3 ounces. Made in the USA by Benchmade Knife Company. I don't know. I'll talk about a couple things, but I want to do a comparison first. I want to do a comparison because one of the things I'm going to talk about is a comparison related to the size. So let's do a quick comparison of size. Now, the first thing, one of the most popular Benchmades of the recent decade, last decade, is the Benchmade Bug Out. So you have a Benchmade Bug Out. How is this going to compare? I want to really line it up pivot to pivot so you can see. It's a little deceptive there. I was a little off, sorry. Handle is a smidge longer. Blade is a smidge longer as well. Full size Bug Out. Do a size comparison right here. You can see the size difference on the blade length. And then we'll do the same thing with the handles. You can see how they're just a little bit bigger on each end. The Bug Out fits nicely for me. It's a nice blade. They make the mini as well. I don't carry the mini as often as I carry the regular Bug Out. I have a lot of the Bug Outs that I carry and use all the time. And so for me, the Bug Out size is perfect. Now, obviously, handle-wise, the Bug Out's going to be much thinner. And even with these aluminum, and obviously, you know, one of the newer releases they have, I was going to say something else, but I didn't want to. I was gonna be like all tricked up, churched up, but let's save that for OCD, you know. But that's what he would reference these, I think, on the Bug Out. Overall, you can see the difference-wise. You can see your pocket clip difference, but to me, that's the size of the Bug Out. Now, you know me, I'm a Benchmade 940 connoisseur. I've carried one for over 20 years. I really love the Benchmade 940, so I always go right to a comparison. You know, little longer blade, little longer handle. How does that compare, Zach? Well, let's see. So overall comparison, you can see you got probably another inch almost on your handle. And then on your blade, moving that down, also a big difference. Now, obviously, these aren't going to be compared because these are going to be smaller ones. So in my mind, I go right to like a mini griptillion from Benchmade. And of course, I got to have some sort of sheep's foot design with that. But here's your size comparison. Very comparable if you're a mini grip fan. So mini grip, you're in that same range. Handle and blade. Very, very close on the blade. Doesn't look as close, but it's very close. Within probably 1/4 of an inch. And then handle's very, very close. So it gives you a different deployment method. It still has the axis lock, and it's really easy to use. One of the things I saw looking at some of the dealers that had them, one of them, they were like, this is a fidget friendly knife because, you know, you got that deployment method. You're not having to flip out something on a thumb stud, but you can use this flipper here. Now, one of the other things I wanted to point out, I don't think these are running on washers. These look like they're running on bearings. When I look down in there, it looks like they're running on bearings. So they are super smooth. So two of the things that I have a little bit of feedback on. For me, with a large glove size hand, when I carry this, or I'm sorry, not when I carry it, when I hold it, I just don't have as much grip as I'd like. And I know some of the lanyard fans are gonna be like, we would love a lanyard hole. It's not gonna work with this clip. You could go through the pocket clip, of course. They did leave a little hole for it. So that would give you that little bit of extra grip that I'm talking about. So that's one option. The other one is when I go to close it, it's going into the depth of my palm. To me, it feels awkward a little bit. And it's just that like 1/2 inch or so. Like I love my mini griptillions. I carry them a lot. But when I look at, where'd my bug out go? There we go. When I look at my bug out and size difference, when I go to close it, it just sits a little taller in my palm. So it feels a little better when I close it instead of like this. And you can kind of see it. Maybe it's because I got, you know, thick palms. I don't know, hashtag thick palms. But that's just one of the feedback items that I would have. A smidge longer in handle. Maybe they'll do like an XL version, you know, kind of like they've done. But they didn't start out as this being the mini Lowden. This is the Lowden. And it's designed to be small and sleek, easy to carry, easy to pocket. You know, a lot of you people that carry in the 5th pocket, this will work really well for that. For me, this is something that being under 3 ounces, I could see being carried in a pair of shorts, in a side pocket, maybe being carried, you know, flip the clip over, carry it offside because you have a flipper and the access lock. So ambidextrous, easy to use. Left-handed, same thing. The only other thing I've noticed besides, I mean, it's just super smooth, as you can see. One of the things I've noticed is you can do the little trick of popping the axis lock and getting that blade out. Just one of the things. Like the 531, I don't know if you know that, the pre-bug out, the 531 was notorious for that. I think the 530 and 531 had it where you can use the axis lock and get that blade out a little bit and then just flip it. Kind of another cool fidget factor. The last item of feedback for me would be the detent. I am not an engineer. I don't know how you could do it, but I almost feel like it's too smooth on the snap. So I don't know if you can listen to it and hear it. Let's listen. I don't think there's, you know, that true like detent ball or anything like that in there. We'll take one apart on one of the next videos and see what's really inside. But running on those bearings, I'd almost like, and maybe it's because there's no jimping here. Maybe if there's jimping, my flip out would be a little more stronger, you know, because maybe my finger slips just a little bit. And I just don't want to see that deployment where it only comes out 2/3 of the way, you know. So I don't know. So it's just some constructive feedback on my initial use of these, the Lowdens, and checking out these for the first time, unboxing them here. That's my feedback. that's my feedback. I think it's a great little knife. I like the flipper idea, but I think that detent, for people that use flippers a lot and love them, I want you to literally get hands-on with one of these and then let me know your feedback. Like that one, this one seems to flip out a little better, and this has the coated blade. So maybe that can be tuned. I'll reach out to Benchmade, and maybe it's just me not using flippers a lot, so I need to get that flipper strength back in my index finger. But I don't know if you can tell, the blue one, yeah, this red one flips a lot nicer. So I like the action on this red one a little bit more. And I think if maybe there was like, and I know it can be added, right? You can mod it and add a little bit of jimping right here, and that might be something I'll have to do on one of them and just test it out, right? And see if that helps. But let me know down in the comments. This is a very unique new knife. You know, they've done some flippers in the past. They've had the Vector and some others where it's kind of like, okay. And I think overall, this is a great starting point in my opinion. Now, the price on these, the Phoenix Red Lowden is going to be $330 full retail, and the Crater Blue is going to be $320. I would like to see these in the like mid $250 range. I think that would be a good price point on these, but I don't know everything that goes into it for the build. So I think overall, if you're looking for a little bit smaller flipper, these are going to be what you should go towards. You know, if you're looking for something a little bit bigger, maybe we'll see a bigger Lowden, you know. Maybe we'll see the King Lowden. I don't know. We'll come up with something, right? But either way, it's a little bit longer unboxing than normal, but I really wanted to go over some feedback based on what I've experienced with this knife already and really get your input. Really get your input because overall, you know, like I said, I think it's a great starting point, and I think Benchmade has something with these. And maybe, you know, maybe a little longer and a little thinner handle, you know, if the internals can take it. I don't know. I keep giving some engineering ideas, and I'm not an engineer, but either way, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for checking out this video. Leave a comment for me. Also, don't forget, hashtag DSKFS, do something kind for someone. It's what we do. Have an awesome rest of your day, but most importantly, take care.